A very good afternoon, everybody. In our previous chapters, we have seen DBMS models, ER model, generalization, specialization. We have also seen a brief introduction to database management system introduction, schemas, dictionaries, and users. We are going to work with RDBMS concept. RDBMS is Relational Database Management System. Just like ER model, in ER model we used to draw the ER diagram, that is entity relationship diagram, how an entity is related to other entity and how different properties are working with that. Now proceeding with the RDBMS, it is relational database management system. That means we have a relational model can be represented as a table of rows and columns. A relational database system has the following main components: a table, a record or a tuple, field or column name or attribute, domain, instance, schema, and keys. Now talking about the table, which you can see in the diagram, this is just a table student. In this we have a student ID, student name, student address, student age. So this is the design schema of the table. In this we are feeding different data. Just like we have the student ID 101, then we have the student name, student address, then student age, then we have another student ID, another student name, and another student address. Now, a table is a collection of data represented in rows and columns. Each table has a name in database. For example, the following table student stores the information of the students in the database. Now talking about the record or tuple. Which we can see that you can see that a single record is known as the tuple in a table. Each row of a table is known as record. It is also known as tuple. Now, in the following record, we can see that we have a single column, a single row covering the attribute of each and each column in the table. Now, proceeding further, when we talk about the column name, it also refers to the attribute, that is the property of the column. Now in the above table we have student, name of the table is student, and in this we have 4 attributes or 4 fields. Just like the student ID, this is referring to student ID. Then we have student name, student address, then student's age. Now let us talk about the domain. Domain is set of permitted values for an attribute in table. For example, a domain of month of year can accept January, February, December as values. A domain of dates can accept all possible valid dates, etc. We specify domain of attribute while creating a table. An attribute cannot accept the values that are outside the domains. For example, in the above table student, the student ID field has an integer column, so that the particular field cannot accept the values that are not integer. For example, student ID cannot have the values like first or 10.11. Similarwise, if we have specified the date format or month format, it is only going to accept the values as per the region or as per the range. Now talking about instance and schema. In our previous chapters, we have already referred to as instance and schema. Instance refers to the value of a particular table at a particular instance. Just like in this we can see that 102 Ajit Delhi 26 is the instance of the particular entity as a particular situation, that is the value. Now talking about the schemas. The structure or the design of the table refers to the schema of the table. You can also refer to our chapters. In our previous chapters, we have already discussed about schema and instance. Now keys. In our further chapters, we are going to work with the keys. Key is the value which identifies an entity uniquely. In this field, you can see that 102 Ajit Delhi 26. Now let us have a look to the structure of the table. In the structure of the table, you can see that we need to identify or we need to keep a point which uniquely identify a row. In this we can see that name of the student. More than two students, more than one students can have the same name. More than one students can have the same address. More than one student can have the same age. Now combination of all these three, student, name and address, can also be the same in a special case. So in such situation what we do, we choose a particular instance which is identifying the particular row or particular value uniquely. So in this we can say that student ID which is uniquely defined or uniquely identified for every student. Other example we can take of the mobile number. We can say that no two students can have the same mobile number. No two students can have the email address, same email address. So email address, mobile number are the entity which is uniquely identifying the particular student. So these refers to the key which uniquely identifies the particular row or particular tuple. There are different types of keys like primary key, candidate key, foreign key, which we are going to discuss in our further chapter, in our separate section. In our next chapter, we are going to work with relational algebra, relational calculus, and keys.